You know, what we're seeing across the crypto market today is retests. Retests. Shiba Inu, BTC, total market cap of crypto, doesn't matter what it is. We're seeing that, little bit of a pullback today. And it's a question of, is this in fact a sustained breakout that we're on? Or do we have a little bit of downside? Was this in fact a fake out before we try to take our next leg? And we're going to talk about that in this video, how things could look in as we get into the week, and two important things that have remained very strong for SHIB that are a great sign for what comes next. Now, guys, if you haven't already, again, show your support for the channel. It's been growing like crazy. I understand it's all because of you guys. And, there have been some tough times as of late for Shiba Inu holders. A lot of people questioning conviction. I know viewership is down, engagement is down, and that tends to happen when sentiment is at its lowest. I've seen this many times before, and this is right before things get absolutely wild in the crypto market. And what we're starting to see is a lot of good news left and right. Good macroeconomic data. We had good news yesterday that I talked about in my ADA video earlier today, where we saw the removal of tariffs on electronics from overseas and countries abroad. That's a great sign. And what we're probably going to see as we get into the week, and obviously this isn't a guarantee, is we're going to see a stock market pump. And why this is such a big deal, why I'm talking about this, is that can in fact bleed over to the crypto market. Just as we saw some red in the stock market bleed over to the crypto market, you can see green do the same thing. Remember, it's all about sentiment. It's about confidence. And the more confidence and the more positive the sentiment it is, the more sustainable the pumps become. So that's a great sign. And what this has obviously led us to do in terms of SHIB is go on, 23% surge to the upside or so. And right now we're retesting that 20-day moving average that we did in fact break through. And guys, this is a great moment for SHIB, because if this does in fact retest and get a nice bounce here, that means we could be headed for some higher local prices. All right. Now, this isn't a guarantee. Understand that I'm not also saying this is going to happen in a single day. This might take a little bit of time to do. And what I mean by a little bit of time is it might be a few days, a week. I don't think it's going to be a month, but we just have to continue to build momentum to the upside. And what's great for SHIB is we've kind of gotten into this point where right now what you're seeing is any of these days that are red, they're just short-term holders capitulating. And if you take a look at what's taking place here, 1 month, 2 month, average hold time for the coins that are actually entering the market right now. So that is people that bought kind of on this leg here that are down, 25% or so, 30%. They're the ones that are capitulating and are unloading their bags. The long-term minded people, the people that have built positions for the future, they're holding. That's why SHIB is in fact holding up, right? What you're seeing down here is accumulation as well. In fact, what we're looking at in terms of the adoption rate for SHIB is something that still sits in that mid 30% range. And for those that aren't familiar with this metric, of the wallets that have transacted Shiba Inu in a single given day, 35%, actually yesterday was 38% of them transacted Shiba Inu for the very first time. So this is actual new adoption taking place. This is the reason why when we look at volume for SHIB, it's frankly quite low. Like right now it's $150 million over the last 24 hours. That's very, very low volume. Okay. Especially compared to the over $1 billion we typically see when Shiba Inu is popping, when the market excitement is here. That's just not what we're seeing right now. So we're seeing this kind of final transition from the hands of the impatient to the hands of the patient. In fact, I think that this is probably our hard pivot in the market. It looks like that was the low for a lot of different things, a hard bounce for the total 3. And you guys can see we're getting a little bit of a retest here as well. Obviously Ethereum still got some work to do here. It's still below its 20-day moving average. It's one of few assets that is. BTC, a little bit of a rejection around its 200-day retest right here. I mean, this is all looking very good right now. What I'm going to say is that there's a lot of long interest right below here. So pay attention. We could see some obviously long liquidations as the day goes on, but there still is a lot of short interest above us as well. And what that could lead us to is some big extended price breakouts. And SHIB tends to perform very well in that. It's a question of, again, sentiment. Is this the shift in sentiment? Does this take us out of this fearful range that we're in right now, which is a 32, which is the highest we've been at since, what was that? March 22nd. So we're March 24th. So we're in, frankly, a very, very good spot. All right. I'm not saying we're insanely bullish or anything like that. but the bearishness is kind of wearing off. We're seeing good fundamentals for SHIB, which is very important. And hopefully this is something that just can sustain as we get into the week. So I appreciate you guys as always. I hope you enjoyed the video. Let me know your thoughts below. What do you think we're going to see as we get into the week? But have a great day. I'll catch you guys in the next one. Take care.